When Amanda Gorman read from her poetry at the Biden inauguration in January this year, she described herself as a skinny black girl descended from slaves. This story is about another skinny black girl, also a poet, who was, however, actually a slave. Her name was Phillis. Her story is fascinating because she is one of the few black women who had a voice, and she left a record of her experiences through her poetry in the book she published in 1773. As a prodigy, as a poet, as a celebrity, she was obviously a very, very exceptional enslaved woman. And in my play, I imagine her in London, mixing with the literary world, connecting her with characters such as Samuel Johnson, the literary guru of the age, Hester Thrales, a leading bluestocking, and Elizabeth Montagu. I also connect her to prominent African Georgians, Ignatius Sancho, and also Francis Barber. Her story raises lots of issues around intellect, around reason, around opportunity, around access to the arts, around access to culture. Issues we're still grappling with today in terms of racism, in terms of sexism. So the story is about an amazing woman. It's set in an amazing space, and I hope you enjoy it.
Phyllis, slow down.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Sancho, but he'll be angry if I'm late back.
So what?
This is a hospital.
Oh, God, my legs. Phyllis, please, slow down.
All this for disabled seamen, for pensioners.
Yes, the Seamen's Hospital. I just have to sit down. This is better.
Oh, there is nothing like this in all of Boston, or in New England, in all America.
Nor anywhere else in England. And it's always so busy. Although, it must give tourists the impression that every Englishman is missing an arm or a leg. This room is their dining hall.
Their dining hall?
Grand. This grandeur is about England's power and wealth. To shout the strength of the Royal Navy to those boats passing by on the Thames. Look up there. You see America?
Where? Oh, yes.
Oh, there's Europe. Then Asia, in that section there. Then Africa.
Where?
See the golden circle with Queen Anne and King George in the middle of the ceiling?
Yes.
Okay, now, look above. See the angel? Then above, the dark-skinned figures of Africa.
Oh, I see them.
Africa, Asia, Europe, America. Behold the four corners of the world. Admiring England's maritime power. All the trade bought by sea, sugar, rum, cotton, and us, the slaves. All those riches depend on shipbuilding, seamanship, navigation. What these seamen do, or did, and the object of English navigators, indeed all Christian navigators, is money, money, money.
Did you really grow up around here?
I worked for 3 maiden sisters. The 3 weird sisters, I call them. Oh, then I ran away and worked at Lord Montagu's house, just at the top of that hill we climbed in Greenwich Park. But never mind that. Sit down, Phyllis. Tell me all.
Okay. Well, I found Mr. Mado, and he's drawn up these manumission papers.
Oh, Mr. Mado, the American lawyer.
Yes, the London agent for the state of Massachusetts.
Good. Oh, that again. How many times must I tell you?
What?
The collar.
Oh, yes.
You're not a pet.
Mr. Mado says that once these documents are signed, I'll be free. He says back in Boston, if I ever need to
back
prove my
in Boston?
freedom, yes, I can show
hold
them
on,
these-
Phyllis. I thought we decided you stay in London.
Yes, Yes, but I changed my mind.
You're going back?
Yes, Mrs. Sancho.
No. No.
Them want more ice cream. You got a shilling?
Anne, I can't believe it. Now she says she's going back.
Surprise, surprise.
And?
Me tell you my opinion, and she have a point.
Dinah Carter came from America a week after you. She ran away and gained her freedom. Anne, please, talk to the girl.
Dinah not safe yet. The Carters vowed to get her back or get back the money them paid for her. And Bessie run too, remember? Her masters hired crooks to kidnap her. And before we could help her, she was dragged onto a ship and sent to their Barbados plantation. So tell her the truth. It's not easy.
Yes, people are re-kidnapped. Then we steal them back, drag them off the boat, take the case back to court. Anyway, Dinah is free now. She was brave enough to fight off her owners, and she won. She'll stay in England and find work, paid work.
I don't know. I need some water. It's so hot. Excuse me.
Why can't you be nice to her? She has no mother, no family.
She thinks Susanna her mother.
Have a heart, Mrs. Sancho. We were both enslaved. Can't we help her?
No, I won't budge. She can't come live with us. Mr. Wheatley could accuse us of stealing him property.
She needs help.
You grew up in the homes of English aristocrats. I grew up on the plantations of Jamaica. I know the likes of Phillis. She's a whole slave. She attached to her masters. She identifies with them and will never leave. No. What time is Hester coming? We have to get back to the shop by 5. I don't have anything against her. It's about you. She's going to break your heart.
I'm being tested. This is a test from God. I must do the right thing. I must return to Boston, Mrs. Sancho.
Why?
What will I do if I stay? I have no family in London.
Well, you have your friends. The Countess, myself, and Anne.
I have no home, no money. Where will I live?
You'll earn it as a writer. You don't have to skivvy and do service like we did. You have your poetry, your fame. Why do you think Nathaniel never lets you out of his sight? You're their golden goose.
Mr. Sancho, I'm a stranger here.
You were a stranger to America until you were kidnapped and sold there. You were a stranger to the Wheatleys until they bought and enslaved you.
I'm a stranger here, I'm a stranger there. I wish I could go home to Africa. But after so long, I'm a stranger there. I'm a stranger everywhere.
Look, I was enslaved. Anne was enslaved. This is a thing life has put us through. But we've made a life. And you can make a new life too. Dr. Johnson and Hester will help you. Well, you saw the people at her literary salon last night.
Yes. They like my poetry.
And they'll promote you to the right people. When the book is published, it'll make money. I'll sell it myself in my shop in Westminster. I still can't believe what's happening to you. The situation is monstrous. You're only 19. You have a gift. You're just about to publish a book of poetry, and the Wheatleys still keep you enslaved, keep a genius in bondage, and they pose as good Christians. Every magazine is talking about you. The Gentleman's Gazette, the periodical weekly, you're the most famous African in the world. I'm sorry, Phyllis. I am angry, but not with you. I abhor slavery. It is your duty to refuse to be bound by such a wicked system. They won't give you your freedom. You have to take it. Just run away. Since Manfield's ruling...
Oh, yes, I know all about the Somerset case. But will it work for me?
Why not? You have the law on your side. Any slave brought here has the right to petition in an English court not to be taken back to the country they were enslaved in. This is a tried and tested way to leave the Wheatleys. Unless you're still attached to them, to your mistress, Susanna.
Oh, I want to escape. I'm so thirsty for freedom. Since I arrived here, the feeling has grown and grown till I'm almost giddy with anticipation. And these past 4 weeks here, oh, they've shown me a new life. And the life I lived these past 12 years, trapped as their slave, I can't abide by it anymore. But I must think, how do I do it? Escape and be able to survive, how? How?
Mr. Sancho? Mr. Sancho!
Here she is. Ask Hester. Good afternoon, Hester.
Hello, Mr. Sancho. What a glorious day. And all the little school children playing outside with their cute little hats. And all these charming old pensioners. Oh, what a lovely idea that we should meet here. Hello, Phillis.
Hello, Mrs. Thrales. Just to thank you again, I'm so grateful for your kindness last night.
Oh, not at all. That's why we formed a salon, to celebrate female literary endeavour. Where is Dr. Johnson?
Oh, I'll find him. I've got to go and find Mrs. Sancho and my Sanchonettas.
They're playing on the steps outside, and I suspect you shall find Dr. Johnson at the Swan. Phyllis, how are you?
Frankly, I'm overwhelmed by the kindness I've been shown. Oh, this morning, Lord Montague took me to the British Library, and then we visited the Royal Academy, and then I read my poetry at the Bloomsbury Circulating Library. Oh, but yesterday, at your house, that was my first blue stocking salon. I understand it's the first place where men and women converse as equals.
Yes, and women have their say. Although some men still endeavour to deny us an education, they know that fools make the best slaves.
And the other women who read their work, oh, they were wonderful.
Oh, yes, but these writers still face prejudice. Last year, Haskins, one of our most eminent critics, was asked to name the chief qualifications of a good poet. He said, "To be a well-bred man." But we women are making steady progress in the literary field. You have come at an auspicious time, my dear. 'Tis the age of the author.
I have so many things I want to ask.
Oh, ask away. The Countess of Huntingdon promised your mistress she'd help you, and since she is now ill, I will happily step in. And, speaking frankly, I do believe it may do you more good to move in my literary circles than in her religious one. And we have more fun.
Oh, meeting other writers is my ambition.
Yes, but first, what is the title of the book to be?
Reflections on various subjects, religious and moral.
I see. And how many poems in the volume?
38. Is that enough?
Oh, more than enough. Now, tomorrow, you will accompany me to Samuel Rogers' literary breakfast, and you shall read more of your work.
I like giving readings, but how can I make a living from my...
Phyllis, you're all right.
I mean, the Countess was extremely kind to allow me to dedicate my book to her.
Good day, Mr. Wheatley.
Good day.
Are you enjoying our excursion to Greenwich?
Yes, although I would enjoy it a lot more without Mr. Sancho accosting me every time we meet. Phyllis, are you ready?
You were very quiet at the salon last night. Are you too a lover of literature?
Yes. Yes, I do enjoy reading, though your talents as writers are beyond me.
Now, I was thinking, what does a well-to-do Bostonian do in London after the season has ended? The coffee houses can be so dreary at this time of year.
I'm a mere businessman, Mrs. Thrales.
And what is your business, Mr. Wheatley?
General trade. Though I was listening keenly to your literary debate.
Oh, about Hester Chapone's Letters on the Improvement of the Mind?
Yes. And I was thinking, and I wonder if you would agree, that too much thinking is not good for women. Providence has ordained the public sphere as the proper element for men, not women.
Is that so?
The female mind is capable of lively imagination and exquisite perceptions, but not a masculine strength of intellect. Women risk endangering themselves if they strain too far into the male domain. Let ladies content themselves with private virtues and domestic excellence.
Or risk becoming, how did Dr. Johnson put it? Oh yes, hideous Amazons of the pen.
Quite. Phyllis, we mustn't keep Mrs. Thrales from returning to her husband and children.
Oh, I'm at liberty to stay as long as I desire. In fact, I was just telling Phyllis that we women are making great progress in this country. I'm curious. In the colonies, I am told that women are only educated enough to read their Bibles. And isn't it entirely illegal to educate Negroes?
In the South, yes, but not in the North, although it's never done.
Oh, but our Phyllis here is schooled in Greek and Latin.
Well, my mother has a special bond with Phyllis. This book, this trip, it is all her dream. Phyllis, it's time to go.
And she charged you with promoting the publication of Phyllis's poems.
I was coming to London on business. Mother arranged for Phyllis to accompany me so that she could, with the kind support of notable persons such as yourself, make the literary world aware of her book.
Well, as is your mother's wish. I am delighted to be of service. In fact, Phyllis and I were just discussing the book. You asked about the income.
Income?
Well, a friend of mine, Sarah Turner, toured Europe with the money from her last work. Do you travel much with your earnings?
I don't make any money.
But why ever not? You've sold Mr. Bell the copyright on your work, haven't you? And some subscriptions have been paid. Oh, you must be paid. Poetry especially sells. Anna Barbauld's new collection has been another great success this year.
I know.
So why shouldn't you make money from your work?
I don't know.
How many copies have you published?
300.
2 shillings a copy. Well, you can make a fair amount from that.
And then if I print some more and if I sell them in America, how much does it cost to post a book?
I handle the business side of the book.
I'd like to know.
May you excuse us for a moment, please?
Why, of course.
Now, Phyllis, there are many sorts of Negroes here in London, many more of them free than we see in Boston. There is a palpable air of sedition. Many an American slave has become intoxicated with liberty, some refusing to return to America. Is that what's gotten into you?
It's my book. I want to make decisions for myself.
Must I remind you of Mama's instructions as to how you are to conduct yourself here?
No, Master Nathaniel.
She said, tell Phyllis to act wholly under direction. Is that clear? Those were Mama's strict instructions, and that you were to read your Bible twice a day, like a good Christian. And where is your collar?
Rest assured, Mr. Wheatley, the first publication by a Negro, and a Negro woman at that, will be a very lucrative project. Now, tomorrow evening, I have secured an invitation for Phyllis to read at Elizabeth Montague's Blue Stocking Salon. Elizabeth Montague? The Queen of the Blues? Founder of the Blue Stocking Society. Her home on Hill Street is the premier salon in London. It's much better than mine. Elizabeth Carter, Hannah More, Frances Burney are our most celebrated scribblers. They're all in her circle. Being introduced there means patronage, so it's good for Phyllis's prospects. Mr. Wheatley, you don't seem interested.
Anything else?
Well, since you ask, yes. Here are some other invitations.
Is this one correct?
Oh, the Lord Mayor of London? Oh, yes. He personally requested an audience. Our Phyllis is the talk of the town. There are even whispers that the king has asked to meet her.
The king?
We didn't finish our conversation outside, Mr. Wheatley. about the exact nature of your relationship to Miss Wheatley.
As I said, Phyllis is a member of my household.
Oh, she's your servant? Or your slave? I mean, servant for life. Isn't that the phrase one uses?
No, we treat her as a member of the family.
Goodness gracious, this woman is your slave.
But who are we to criticize Americans? The people of Great Britain have acquired a greater share in that wicked commerce than all the rest of the world combined.
A topic for another meeting. Come along, Phyllis.
Phyllis, every time you return with him, you miss a chance to escape.
I've got these papers now. I'm going to reason with him.
And what if he finds out what you're doing? And what if he doesn't sign?
Then I'll run. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing.
Oh, goodbye, Phyllis. Mrs. Sancho, did you know?
Yes, I did. Phyllis, don't forget this.
Please look after these for me. Goodbye.
Well, well. Miss Phyllis Wheatley. A black-blue stocking. Well, I shall write a handsome entry about her in my journal. I must say, there are so many blacks in London nowadays. Men of colour in the rank of gentlemen, black ladies covered in finery in the pit at the opera, and little tawny children playing in the squares. The gardens of the squares, I mean, with their nurses. Well, I shall bid you good day. I expect I'll find Dr. Johnson at the Swan.
Yes, he's there. Goodbye, Hester. That Wheatley.
That girl, I keep telling you, she like any old house slave back in Kingston.
I'll write another letter to Mr. Stern. I'll urge him to make slavery the topic of one of his novels. And I'll write to Garrick to make him perform and write a play about this evil trade.
We are free people. We own our own property. We have our business, a roof over our head and food in our bellies. You have to think of ourselves. Think of our picnic.
None of ours must ever be snatched into slavery, Anne. Never.
Never.
I vow on their lives, I will not allow that young girl to return to America a slave.
Well, well, well.